Welcome, everybody, to the Scrumptious Unscripted Game of Thrones podcast, live with pictures, moving pictures. I am your host, Kat, and with me always is the good Sir Pappy. Hey-o!
Hello.
So, we had an episode.
Yeah. Real quick, though, you mentioned moving pictures. I'm going to do as little moving as possible now, just to throw people off. I'm going to pretend there's a T-Rex in front of me.
You're just perfectly still the whole time.
Yeah, good episode. It was a little earlier than you expected, though, with all the fighting and the stabbing, huh? You were thinking that was going to be an episode 9 kind of thing.
Well, I still think the Siege of Winterfell is going to be next episode.
Well, I don't know, because, you know, our angry little Bolton boy said he could go take them out with 20 men.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not totally buying Ramsay's "my dick's bigger than Stannis's" whole plea here, but we'll see.
Well, he only does that because he cuts everyone else's dick off. That's my dick is bigger because I'm the only one left.
Yeah, because I have one and you don't. I win.
Well, let's start from the top before we start making fun of the Boltons.
Yeah, so this episode was called Hardhome. I feel like it should have been called Bye, Felicia.
And just No Home, maybe? That's a good name for it.
I'm sticking with Bye, Felicia. We had so many people who were like, oh, hey, you seem like an interesting addition to the... Oh, bye.
Yeah. No, it's another very strong tradition in Game of Thrones to introduce us to very powerful, interesting female characters and then either minimize their presence or kill them off.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Or hit them with spoons, but we're going to talk about that later. So,
but first we get a little conversation off on the other continent.
Yeah, so much to the dismay of your prediction, they're having tea parties instead of him being chained to a wall.
Well, I'm sure it's better for him.
Well, it's certainly more enjoyable for him, and it's more enjoyable for us, the viewer, I think.
Yeah, it was smart of her to cut him off already on the wine, though.
Yeah.
Good first step. Know your friends.
Yeah, it's a good place to start. She picked up on that real quick.
But it was good to see that she's maturing as a potential queen and is willing to listen to people. And I think it was great again to see Tyrion is the smartest one in the room. And this time he wasn't using his tongue to get him out of a situation or confuse idiots. This time he actually got to talk to an equal and convince her convincingly, which was kind of nice to see, both in that he hasn't lost his touch, and holy shit, he's even cooler when he's talking to people he doesn't hate.
Yeah. No, well, we got a little snippet of that with the spider, you know, that he's far more interesting when he's not talking to people he hates.
Yeah, but even that was so laced with sarcasm and the whole woe is me and the drunkenness. Well, yeah. Sober, calm Tyrion is actually a lot of fun to watch, and hopefully we get more of that.
Well, it certainly looks like she's decided he's a good egg to keep around, so yeah, they'll have more tea parties, and those are my favorite tea parties because they're actually wine parties, and that's the best.
Yeah, and then Jorah, it was very smart of Tyrion to talk about that and point out that, well, maybe you shouldn't kill somebody who goes to these lengths to help you.
Yeah. I mean, we the viewer know he's kind of effed anyway, so...
Yeah, we the viewer also know that he's kind of effed in the head now, right? I mean,
a little
let me
bit.
fight for her, and I'll be a slave. Like, whether you know you're going to die or not, that's pretty ridiculous.
It is a little bit, but he's never really been quite 100% on the logic bandwagon when it comes to her.
Yeah. But it was really cool to see Tyrion explaining Jorah's mentality better than Jorah could.
Yeah. I liked the one where they like, clipped shot to Jorah's face and he's just like, excuse me?
Yeah. All right, fair enough.
Yep.
That was pretty much it in that arena. In those three scenes with the Jorah, let me fight and kill so I can see my queen one more time. And then we go to Arya. Yay!
Yay! Finally doing something relevant, maybe.
Yeah, having to become somebody else. And notice she only got whacked once.
Yep.
She's lying better now.
That's okay. We had better people getting better whacks this episode.
It was cool to see the mission, and that was very similar to the novels. Although they skipped some stuff, which is fine. which is actually better storytelling visually for me. But it was actually really cool to see the hair. I honestly didn't realize just how much of her character is that tangly mess of hair.
Until it was all neat and, like, properly
and
well
that
done up.
really helped sell the pretending to be somebody else, because, yeah, it was impressive. Just her whole demeanor was,
she cleans up
shit.
good.
It was more just, you know, from an actor standpoint was awesome, but also from that Arya standpoint, you could, if you put the two of them side by side, you could say, holy shit, these are two completely different people the way they act.
Yeah. Well, I'm just happy she's got, you know, all her bits still here. You had me a little concerned.
No, what I meant was that they were going to artificially, in the novel, they'll either, I have a feeling they're going to skip over the whole thing, is that they had her drink something and she went blind until she learned how to feel everything out inside the little keep. And then once she could navigate without her eyes, then they gave her a potion to bring it back.
Oh, see, okay. You led me to believe, like, they were going to, like, spoon her eyes out, cut off her nose, cut off her ears. Like, I thought she was going to be, like, some...
The only way you'll be able to serve the many-faced goddess to grow everything back with willpower.
Just magically. Well, then I was thinking of, like, I'm glad they give him a new face after that. It's the least they could do. You know, so...
Here, have a tongue again. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little confused as to how that worked, but now it makes much more sense to me. Yeah, so that's
the whole,
good.
Like, you know, the old ancient, you know, martial arts where you learn how to fight blindfolded. That was that same context. But it was cool to see the mission and hey, figure out this guy, see, know, understand, and here, have some poison.
Yeah. Oh, by the by, here, take this vial and have at. Yeah. But I also feel like they left her some room to maybe decide what she's doing with it a little bit, maybe? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, and, you know...
Like, it's her choice. She's just been given the option.
Well, I don't know. Well, she has to learn everything first. And also, they never said to poison him.
Yeah.
You know, they just said, here.
That's why I feel it's pretty open-ended. It's just, you might need this. You know, it is dangerous. Take this with you.
And I think part of the test is going to be her deciding who to kill and how.
Yeah.
If to kill. Because obviously the vial is so that if the guy orders the vinegar and oysters, she just pours that in instead. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. But what's going to happen? Who knows?
Who knows?
So let's get to whacking Cersei in the face.
Yeah, with a spoon.
So I guess that's not a silent sister. It's just a very minimal speaking sister. Confess. No, won't confess.
Yeah.
No.
I was going to say, it's a one-word sister.
It's a one-word sister.
One-word sister. Confess. Whack.
And that was both scenes with that. Both the solo and then with Qyburn. Sorry, the Q.
Necro dude.
The necromancer.
That guy. Yeah, no, I thought they were pretty enlightening scenes as far as she almost seemed, the way she's losing it in prison versus the way she was losing it out of prison seems to be better for her overall mental health in prison.
I still think it's funny just how haughty she still is, you know.
The
threats, the begging, the coercion, and then just, sorry, this is a nun. She does not care for worldly things.
That's why I thought it was very enlightening to see her, you know, licking up the floor water.
I will say the biggest thing, though, is Qyburn is arguably her best friend right now. You know what I mean? Like, he is her
if
biggest
Cersei
fan.
has best friends, he's it.
Yeah, and even he was like, you probably want to confess.
Yeah, you might want to consider this, because it's not looking good.
So that's the big question for the last 2 episodes this season. Are we going to see the end of the Marjorie plot, you know, storyline? And what kind... I think we can safely say she's going to confess at this point. When you're desperate enough that you're licking floor water...
I don't know, though. She's so stubborn.
Well, we'll see that, but will they finish both of those plots?
I feel like her confession's going to be like, but Marjorie's a bigger bitch than me.
Yeah, that's the thing I wonder about. With only 2 episodes left and no hint of Marjorie at all, they might finish Cersei's storyline and save the other one for next season and then turn it into something else.
Yeah, that's, well, you know, like every episode, like, I feel like our motto is, welcome to the Scrumptious Unscripted Game of Thrones podcast. Wait and see.
Here's what you saw. here's what we want to see. Here's what will probably happen, and we're always wrong.
Yep, we're always wrong, except for me when it comes to points.
Hey, I got a point. I said 1/3 of the episode was Jon Snow, and I nailed it.
Yep, yeah, nope, you are in the hunt now, sir.
Yes. But we'll get to that. Next up is poor Lady Sansa.
I'm a little less on the... Well, okay. Oh, my God. I'm going to get flamed so hard. Like, hi, you can, like, look in my face, people. Look in my face.
Be angry.
I'm a little less on the poor Sansa bandwagon because she's in it. She's playing that game. She's, playing Theon hardcore. And she now has the knowledge that, hey...
Not the last one.
This is still a house. Thank you. So, I think she's going to run with that. I think the knowledge that her brothers aren't dead is going to be that oomph in the right direction for her kind of, not necessarily, again, sticking straight up for herself, but being more forceful about doing this kind of behind-the-scenes work.
Yeah, I will say, though, that with little angry Bolton volunteering to go on another hunt, now we don't get to see him corkscrewed in the eye.
Or yet. Do we? Yeah. Like maybe Sansa will sneak out while he's away and he'll come back and he'll be like, oh, I proved to Stannis that my dick was bigger than his. Oh, great, honey. Stab.
Well, that's what I think the best bet would be right now is if he does leave Winterfell to go do whatever sabotage he plans on doing. That's Sansa's best time to get that candle lit.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if he leaves Reek behind and she can convince him to be Theon, be noble, do one last good thing while your master is away.
Yeah, I think without the ever-looming presence of Ramsay, that might be where we see our break in Theon.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the only chance we got, really.
Yeah.
That's about it. That's about it before we go to Hardhome. Is there anything else? Any of the other characters we want to... Last-minute comments before we get to the...
Oh, I liked Ollie's little conversation with Sam.
Oh, yeah. As
thought that was one of those...
to repress that Sam was on the episode.
I know. You're not into Sam, but it was probably the only in the... Well, you had the moment with the lady and her kids, but just our little, like, heartfelt snippet of, hey, look, I understand, where you're coming from, Ollie, but... You've got to, you have a family. They were murdered. That sucks.
But I do think Sam completely missed the point of the end. I really do.
Yeah, no, he totally missed the boat where it's like, oh, yeah, John will be home safe. Like, no, he's not worried about John. You just explained why all of this was for the betterment of, mankind, as it were.
Yeah.
And then you're like, but Jan will be home soon. Don't worry, buddy. Buck up,
Yeah, it's like, no, but you should have stopped, Sam.
Yeah, close. So close. And then you blew it. But that's Sam in a nutshell.
You meant well.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
You were well-meaning, and you were, on the right track, and then, aw.
Aw, so close.
Aw, no, so close yet so far. So, yeah, let me take a peek, see. Oh, yeah, here I can actually show the people at home. My lovely jumbled. Yeah, this is what we work off of. So yeah, we can get to half of this paper and why my pen became a jumbled, chewed up mess.
Well, first of all, great way to get someone's attention is beat them to death.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying bye, Felicia. It's like, oh, hey, Bone Lord. Oh, bye, Bone Lord.
The funny thing about that is the death of the Lord of Bones in this episode should basically squash a bunch of internet hopefuls. Because in the books, he is utilized for a little bit of a trick by Melisandre.
Oh.
And now he's very dead.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I was like, oh, well, that's one way to shut him up. And then I'm hearing the level of squish going out, and it's like, oh, no, bye, Felicia.
Yeah, no, he kept going. He kept going. Yeah, that was, again, that just by killing him, quite possibly completely changed where the show is going versus where the books are going. Just by murdering the shit out of the Lord of Bones.
Out of one guy. One guy.
And for those of you who read the books, you know what I'm talking about. Don't kill it for everyone else unless we're sure.
We got some butterfly effect going on. Like, this one guy died. Oh. Now the ripples are going.
The only storyline in today's episode that matched the books in any way, shape, or form was Arya's. And Cersei's. Sorry. Cersei's, yeah. But again, theirs was different with the timing and everything. Arya's is the only one that really hasn't changed. But now Jon Snow is past... he's almost past the books. I already talked about Tyrion and Dragon Mama. They're past the books. And I think by the end of this, in 2 weeks, this whole show is going to be past the books.
Completely out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
interesting to see.
It was cool to see. I liked the way he started that speech, We're not friends. Never going to be friends. Don't want to be your friend.
I don't like you. You don't like me.
But...
You can ride the tram or you can take the donkey. It is the same price.
Stay here and die, or let's go and maybe live. And I did... Oh, and in case you were maybe waffling, murderous horde of undead.
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. I'm looking at the way that was playing out, and I'm just like, like, something ain't right here. And then all the dogs start barking, and I'm like, oh, shit. Something right here.
Because at first I was like, what, did maybe some of the assholes who weren't going to stay start an avalanche? Well, that's a little weird. Oh.
Yeah, no, as soon as I heard the dogs barking, I was like, oh, shit, son.
Yeah, good thing they had all
and
that
you can tell in my notes where it's like, I got a bad feeling about this. Oh, great, the dogs do, too.
You pointed that out, too. The whole thing I was thinking, yeah, thanks for passing out that dragon glass, and thanks for everyone leaving it in the building, and then no one running out with it, remembering it, thinking about it until it's too fucking late.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's like, hello, that was part of your whole spiel. Like, look, we've got dragon glass. We can kill them.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, they're here at the gates. Anybody got a piece of that?
No?
No?
Right.
No?
Yeah, thanks for remembering it until it's too late. Just because you're a TV show doesn't mean everyone has to be an idiot.
Yeah, they went a little too TV convenient, full derp on that.
You never go full derp.
Yeah, you don't go full derp. But that's why I think I may actually in love with Jon Snow a little bit. Because he goes full derp. And then realizes, oh, wait, I'm being a dumbass right now.
Yeah. Now, the Valyrian steel, it was cool to see that can also harm the White Walkers. The downside is in the myth of the world, there's only a few hundred, maybe a few thousand pieces of Valyrian steel in the world.
Yeah, but we got at least 2 pieces chilling in the north right now.
Yeah.
Because doesn't Brienne have Jaime's
but still... Even if you said, hey, Valyrian steel is the only thing that can kill the White Walkers, please pass it up to the Men of the Night's Watch. The rest of the world will be like, no.
But isn't Stannis' whole home made of dragonglass, essentially?
He did say that he's got dragonglass on his home, but now Jon's got to get back, contact Stannis somehow, who is snowed in halfway between the wall and,
Speaking of Stannis, so when I saw him pulling up in the boats, I'm like... Wait, I thought Stannis said, I could give you, 20 ships. And I'm like, fucking canoes? You gave him canoes. What the fuck, Stannis? I can give you 20 canoes.
We can bring 15 of you back at a time.
Yeah, I'm thinking how...
17 years.
How is that beneficial to anybody? Because they did not actually show you the ships out in the bay until right towards the end there, which is why I put my note of, never mind, but...
So it is interesting now. I mean, we knew that the White Walker zombies were just the dead.
Yeah.
Now we can see that well, you said the shaman. That's a pretty good, or the King Walker, whatever. They can raise. Yeah. They just go ha, and then bam, zombie horde. So
I liked how his little frozen fronds on his face kind of looked like a crown.
Yeah. Now, so we know now that the White Walkers themselves are kidnapped human babies that are inappropriately touched on the forehead, and then boom, now they're White Walkers. So now we know that the zombies are just they literally don't even have to do a ritual. They just go, you're dead.
Yeah, just. I think the ritual
eyes from the grave.
I think the ritual with the baby might be for making more shaman dudes.
I'm gonna say White Walkers versus just the undead.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to say.
Okay. I just felt like we needed to do some establishment there.
Yeah, White Walkers are human babies, and the undead are just, hey, there's a corpse.
Yeah.
Get up.
You died, be risen, get some blue contacts, and go kill people.
And this was so much more fun. Yeah. I'm actually watching this season going, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy the next book. I'm just like,
ooh,
this.
Ooh.
Well, we know that the as much as I read, video is my medium. I love movies. I very rarely enjoy TV. On an aside, we did the best 10 TV shows of the last 20 years. It took me days to find 10 shows that I could confidently say I've seen most of the episodes. No Breaking Bad, none of this, none of that, no Mad Men, no Sopranos. I've never seen them in their entirety because they bore me. This show I love because it's that mixture of drama and fantasy and action. And this episode, I was actually sitting there like, I would have loved to have read George R.R. Martin's version of this fight. But he didn't do that. He didn't.
But guess what? It doesn't exist.
But what we did get was 1-1.
What?
The giant 1-1. 1-1, however they said it. But that's the giant I was talking about, who I said I hope he's still in it somehow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. I also had the thought to myself, hey, buddy, you know, as you're, like, wading out past the boat, you could just grab it and tow it, you know.
At the same time, I think he did enough. You know, they can't quite
criticize. Well, yeah. No, he was definitely the reason they got to a boat. Nobody can dispute that. I thought it was weird there was only one giant there. Because it seemed like with
off a couple.
Mance, you know, he had quite a larger supply, I guess.
There's not many giants.
Okay.
They go through that too, and they did successfully kill off quite a few of them during the fight.
Yeah.
And again, the giants really don't have anything to do with people. As you could tell, they don't really give a shit about people. What the fuck you talking to?
Yeah. What are you looking at? What, you want this? You want this? Because for giant fingers, it was like, oh, here's a spearhead. Here it is. There you go. Yeah, just right.
Make 4 of them and just give them, like, you know, bare knuckle.
Right? Like some brawler fists there.
Like, someone just puts their keys in there, you know, that's...
Yeah. No, you could. I also, and this could be me reading way too much into stuff, but imagery-wise, I thought it was very interesting that the walkers had 4 riders on the mountain, because I'm like, oh, are you like doing some 4 horsemen type thing with your 4 riders hanging out up on the cliffside here?
No, that's a good point. Yeah, and it was nice of them to, again, introduce a really cool female character and have her murdered.
Yeah, but you know, I have to say, like, I get really annoyed, and then, you know, as a female without children... and not having much high opinion of children, it's like, they're already dead. Like, why did you just stand there and take it?
That also speaks to a little bit of inherent misogyny. How come it was the only awesome female who paused to murder kids, you know? Why couldn't she have just been like, you know, hey, they're already dead, there's nothing I can do about it, let me fight them, and then let some dude go, oh my god, that's my son, and let him get overrun, you know?
Yeah, and especially because everything with her up to that point, and granted, I can see both sides of this argument, but my side of this argument is that she made such a point of like, no, I got my kids to safety, like, I'm doing right by my kids, so let me stand here and get eaten. That just doesn't...
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. And it's a much smaller misstep than the few they've made this season or over the duration of the show, but again, it's another misstep where as much as I like the show and I like the plot, maybe somebody who knows women a little better than the showrunners could write a little bit more in there, you know? Just
a little bit. I'm waiting. I think that's why I like Briette as much as I do, because she obviously has like moral scruples, but at the same point, you know, she had no qualms punching the Hound in the face. So
her gender does not determine her actions.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's really the only female character. Well, Arya, I guess, but a lot of that is stemming from the fact that she's having the most fucked up childhood possible.
Yeah, I feel like she's not a good basis to base like gender stuff on. Yeah. And she wasn't raised too much but even then, her upbringing was a little non-traditional with the way that Ned decided to do all of that. But anyway,
but how come? We can get into that for maybe one of our post-season wrap-ups.
Yeah, her post-season rants.
Yeah, it was a good episode. I really enjoyed it. I liked bringing some action in there, and they did leave everything open enough where I got no clue what we're seeing in the next 2 episodes. I know what they need to wrap up. But that's it. The only thing I'm hoping that we do get to is that, you remember the one Kingsguard jerk that Arya, thinks about killing is going to be there in Bravos. So I'm hoping that within the next 2 episodes, we'll get to see a little bit of an encounter there.
I'm not going to bank on it, just with kind of how slow her storyline's been moving thus far. I'm not going to bank on that being in this season, but I would venture to say it'd probably be early in the next one, but who knows? That would be my guess. Or whatever mission she's working on now, if she decides to dig deeper into it, maybe it'll take her to the Iron Bank, where, lo and behold, Daddy Tyrell's there to meet at the Iron Bank. There's a lot of opportunity for crossing of the streams, as it were. But
yeah, because again, it looks like they're substituting out someone in the novels again who doesn't exist in this series. So I'm hoping that, personal hope is that I get to see a scene or 2. But again, it's personal hope, and that doesn't really push anything forward. As far as this, I hope that we get to wrap up Cersei's storyline this season, and I get to tackle.
Well, we'll see. Also, let me just explain to people the reason we're doing this format this week is because I am crazy, crazy busy at work, and, we'll see what the response is for this. We could certainly do this again in the future, or, my lovely screen cap. If you want to see, you want to see this, it's right here. Or, we'll come up with some different formatting. But for the next 2 weeks, it's going to be this. So apologies if that, off-puts some people. But
then you can always just go to the podcast version if you don't like how cute I am.
I understand. I get it. It's okay.
Yeah, that is it from my side of the table. Unless I'm allowed to start ranting like an insane man, which I'll hold off on.
Yeah, again, another time. And I keep saying another time. Tune in for our, 2-hour season wrap-up episode where we just get all this shit out on the table. But no, congrats on your point this week. Good job. Well played, sir. That puts us at 4-2, so you're making a comeback.
I got a point and a wish came true with the Giants, so I'm pretty dang happy about this.
Yeah, well, that's kind of double points. Not actually in our game, but points all around. Where's Chris Hardwick? I need to cut him in. Points! Points!
We'll get him for next episode.
Yeah, we'll try and get him in the next episode. So yeah, thanks for listening to the Nerdist podcast, but... No, and sincerely, thanks everybody who's been viewing. I'm really super pleased with how many people we've had listening to us ramble every week.
Yeah, and I will say that, again, toot our own horn, I've compared a couple of different versions of the wrap-ups, and ours is really good.
Tell your friends.
If you insist on checking out a Game of Thrones post-season dialogue, ours is one of the best ones out there. Just saying.
Yeah, totally non-biased.
No bias.
Yeah, no bias. That's just cold hard statistics right there. Yeah. So anyway, thanks for tuning in this week, guys. And as always, you can find this and every episode we do at scrumptiousunscripted.com. So thanks, Mr. Pappy, for coming out this week.
As always,
we'll see you next week.
Yes, I will be here, and hopefully you will still be alive.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. I'm probably going to be so sunburnt next week. Wish me luck, folks.
Good luck.
So thanks for tuning in. Give us a like. And, if you like what you hear and you're not already, which I don't know why you wouldn't be, hit the subscribe button. Just say it.
Do it.
Do it right now. So. All right. We'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.